Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to the beautiful island of Kauai, which is the one of the largest islands in the Hawaii chain. Really excited to bring this one to you, and a big thank you as always to Cli4D Designs for giving me the opportunity to show you this scenery. And we're going to be taking the H500c. I do apologise for the livery. I know it's obvious. And I did try and resist, but I couldn't help it because I started hearing the theme tune in my head and my eyebrows started twitching, and I don't have a moustache, so I can't say that that was twitching, but you know what I'm talking about. It's the only helicopter to take for this, and it's a great way of seeing the scenery that Cli4D has designed for us here. And this, of course, is the Waterfalls of Hawaii for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 pack that he's just released. There are 13, by the looks of it, waterfalls in total. We're going to be looking at 7 of them. Most of the fun of this kind of scenery is discovering it for yourself, so I'm not going to show you everything because you need to do that yourself. But we are going to have a close look at a good chunk of them, and every flight for me is a training flight, and that's, again, for me, what we're going to be doing. It's a good chance for me to do some low-speed handling and all that kind of stuff, maybe some landings, but just to have fun in this exceptional helicopter that I love to bits, and it's perfect for this video. Anyway, enough of my waffle. You've signed the insurance waiver. Let's jump in the helicopter and let's see what we can find. Well, here we are. Isn't this exciting? Love the cockpit in this helicopter. Loads of room, loads of visibility, and there's your seat there, so strap in. There we go. Nothing to be nervous about. Perfectly competent pilot here. So, actually, I'm being a little bit premature here. We do need to do a quick walk around. So let's do that now. So we'll pop round to the front here, and let's remove you. Let's remove you. Quick look down here. Skids are all looking good. That's all fine. Let's quickly check the tail rotor. That's all looking good. Yep. Let's have a look around here. Remove that. And, ooh, let's just duck down. There we go. No Hawaiian squirrels in there. Always got to check for the squirrels in the engine bay. Let's close that. Come back round here. Stand up on your legs. Quick look over here. This is all looking good. That's fine. We can't check that just yet, but that's fine. And we've removed everything that we need to remove, and everything is looking cool. Okay, let's jump in. Right, okay, so first thing I need to do is check my physical controls are all set up correctly, because sometimes you get caught out. I've got the rotor, the Virpil Rotor TCS Plus throttle, so I'm just going to get that all synced up with my idle cutoff button. There we go. So that's fuel is now in cutoff, and we have the little I don't know what you'd call that. I was going to say switch, but it's not really a switch, but that is in the upright position, ready for when we start. I am going to shut up during the start process because it's quite nice for you to hear what's going on. And yeah, it's the sounds in this helicopter are absolutely lovely. So well worth listening to rather than my rather monotone voice. So let's get battery on. Let's have ignition on. We are going to get some lights on because we're going to start whapping around a big blade. I don't want to get too technical with terms. That's all good. Happy with that. Let's have starter pump on for 4. And while we do that, check those. That's all good. Start pump off. Close that down. Nothing untoward here. So that's fine. And let's go for starts. Now I can reach over to my collective, and I've got a starter switch mapped to it, so I can do that, and we can start the engine, and I can shut up so you can hear it. Temperature's good on start, no hot start. And we have a good start. So the generator on. With the generator going on, we now have the lovely sound of the rotor, low RPM going off, but that's absolutely fine, that's to be expected, that shows it's working. Just checking the instruments, everything is looking good there. So let's now slowly wind up the throttle. That's all good, and now I'm just going to check the governor, so I've got another switch over here with the RPM, so I can just raise it up. Here we go, and I'm just going to drop it back down again. Should have the alarm go off. There we go, and let's put it back up to 104, because that's where we want it for takeoff. Okay, so quick check for me, looking around, everything is where it should be, that's all good, everything is on and working, we've got no warnings. I will put the landing light on at this point, and yeah, everything's tickety-boo. Okay, we are good to go. Let's do a takeoff, because we ain't going to get anywhere otherwise, are we? Let's face it. So stick back ever so slightly. Oh, just quickly checking the... No, that's okay. Just wondered if the RPM looks a little bit low for a moment, but that's fine. Check. Let's get down. Yeah, that's all good. Wind is on the nose, so I'm going to avoid the tower because I don't want to annoy them, because they might not let us come back again. There we go. Good to go. Some of you already know it, but this is of course where Jurassic Park was filmed, this island. So some of the scenery might look a little bit familiar to you. Quickly just do a quick check, recenter my head tracking, there we go. Incredible, isn't it? You have this flat and then suddenly the cliffs rise up, but this looks quite stunning. It will surprise some of you, no doubt, that it's been a long time since I've flown in Hawaii in the sim, and if I'm honest, I'm not even sure if I've flown in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 or 2024. Flown here a few times in P3D on group flights, but yeah, I'm not so sure I've actually done anything in this sim, so really interested to see what it looks like. And I have to say, one of those moments where you think, why on earth have I never flown here? How crazy am I? Stunning scenery, and I mean, it's just iconic, isn't it? No wonder they set the film here. I haven't got that Orbex Jurassic Park pack. I must admit, when I first saw it, I thought, oh, dinosaurs in Flight Simulator. And I saw a few comments from people, you know, saying, oh, this proves it's a game. And then I kind of thought, actually, no, I get it, because Microsoft Flight Simulator, in a way, and bear with me on this, bear with me, this is just my thoughts, by the way. Microsoft Flight Simulator could almost be seen as a celebration of flight, and for people who like flying and can't necessarily jump into a real helicopter and fly around and all that kind of thing, it's a great way of being able to do some flying in the modern world, and you can go anywhere in the world you want and all that kind of stuff. You know this, you're watching this video, so you're into flight sim, you get it. And then it just occurred to me, if you're also into dinosaurs or you're a fan of the film, what an amazing thing to be able to do, to actually fly a helicopter around Jurassic Park with the dinosaurs. And it suddenly kind of occurred to me that, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I've not bought it myself. I'm not sure if I will. I enjoyed the film, but I'm not a massive fan. Dinosaurs are quite fascinating though. But I get it, and again, it's, you know, I've talked about it on videos previously. Flight simming is all about what you enjoy. It's not what someone else tells you a flight simulator should be. You know, you should be flying airliners at flight level 320, and you should be serving peanuts and gin and tonics to your passengers and all that kind of thing. It's about what you get out of it, and if you want to fly a helicopter or a bush plane around, you know, around Jurassic Park and look at dinosaurs, why the hell not? Why the hell not? So yeah, it just occurred to me when I kind of saw that this is where the film was based. So at the moment we are just kind of heading up, heading over the what does that say? Kua Game Management Area is what it says on the map. But we are going to head to our first waterfall, keeping the altitude safe at the moment, because what I'm trying to do is lull you into that kind of sense of security. You've just climbed on board my helicopter, you've paid your money, you've signed the insurance waiver, and I'm just making you feel, you know, everything's okay. You're in the hands of a professional. He doesn't have the moustache, he keeps humming a strange theme tune, but what the hell. Yeah. This is a cracking helicopter, by the way. I made a video yesterday up in Svalbard, and I hadn't intended to use it again for a couple of videos, but this just seemed like the perfect opportunity when Clifford got in touch. It's a fantastic helicopter to learn to fly in. I think the Llama also, by the way, is another good one, because it's very, you feel the physics. I said in the video yesterday, it's a bit like the old kind of Spitfire cliche. You don't strap into it, you strap it on. And you can, as much as you can in a flight simulator where you don't have physical feedback, you kind of feel what it's doing, and it's you feel the helicopter physics, which I absolutely adore. So that is what it's all about, and it should be great fun for this. Selfishly, as I said at the beginning, it's a chance for me to practice some helicopter flying. I'm by no means an expert. I don't get a huge amount of time to fly at the moment, but I'm spending more and more time in helicopters, and it's just great fun. You can go anywhere, do anything. You see something of interest, you can land on it. It's the closest thing to those dreams you have as a child where you can fly, and as an adult, dreams you have where you can fly. And incidentally, boring fact, that's where the name of this channel comes from. When I initially named it Dreams of Wings, I was initially just recording videos for my own use, so I could look back and you know, use them for training and look at mistakes and that sort of thing. And I call it Dreams of Wings because, like most people, I always had those dreams where you could fly. So it's a bit of a soppy name, but and it kind of stuck. In hindsight, I might have used something a bit snappier, but it seems to have worked. But you get the drift anyway. So here we are, just coming up now on some beautiful scenery. This is the Waimea Canyon, which is sometimes called the Grand Canyon of Hawaii. But look at that. Look at that, absolutely stunning. I'm trying really hard, by the way, not to get carried away with the scenery. It's very easy to suddenly put the nose down and pick up a whole load of speed, and that's exactly what I don't want to do. So I need to just come back on the stick a little bit. We'll drop the collective, and then we can start losing some height and have a look at our first waterfall, which is the Waipo'o Falls. Waipo'o, you might ask? Don't be silly, no sniggering at the back. Let's have a quick look. I'm a little bit high. Let's come back on the speed a little bit more. Keep that descent in. Over here. There we go. So as you can see, low speed now. Need to keep some forward speed in. From a helicopter flying point of view, need to be careful of not, when you're trying to descend quickly, getting into a vortex ring state, because that's embarrassing. Valley, and there it is, our first site, Waimea Falls. What Cli4D is a master of doing is he uses the scenery that's already in the sim, and then enhances it and adds things to it. He adds more realistic rock structures and that sort of thing, and also you can see we've actually got a flowing waterfall and the mist at the bottom. I bet you're glad you paid for this tour now, aren't you? Look at that. Just see at the bottom the rocks. If we had somewhere nice and flat down there we could land, but you can see the detail he's added at the bottom, and then we'll just follow it up. I'm being very careful to concentrate on flying the helicopter. Whilst also looking at the scenery. Climb in, just trying to position it so we can look out the window. There we go. So you can see there, that's a good example actually, the flowing water, the rocks down there, and the point at the top there. Stunning. So there you go. You can, with the aid of this, you can now give people, as I'm doing, a tour of the waterfalls. Right, well let's head on now. We have another destination to go to. Just be careful not to bang into there. Quite often when I fly this helicopter in videos, and if you've already jumped the gun and left a comment, then there you go. But people often say, oh, I think you'll find you're sitting in the wrong seat. You should be on the right hand side. And it always seems to be, well, it always seems to be, it kind of always is really, this helicopter. So it's worth pointing out for those people that this 500c is designed as a utility helicopter, and the correct seat for the pilot in command is the left side. So Taog's Hangar is absolutely correct in positioning the pilot on this side, and it's a feature you quite often see in this kind of helicopter, this type. If you don't believe me, just go onto YouTube and have a look at some videos of people flying the 500. And you'll see that in a lot of cases they are in the left hand side. There's a really good, I can't remember what it is, but there's a guy who flies the 500 from tuna boats, and you'll see he's on the left hand side. The other helicopter that comes with this pack, of course, the H500c, the military helicopter, the pilot in command, the captain, sits on the right hand side. So again, they've kind of got that correct for that type. Anyway, that's that over. Oh, and also another point to make is we have a Dreams of Wings Discord. Great bunch of people there, all into helicopters, warbirds, all that sort of stuff. So come along and say hello. There's a link to that down below, and I look forward to seeing you there. That almost sounded like an in-flight announcement, didn't it? Yeah, as I was saying before, Clifford really makes some great scenery for doing flying training. Not so much in this one in terms of landing pads, but in a lot of his scenery, he's got some really cool little landing pad sites to fly into, and it's wonderful being able to practice flying a helicopter and at the same time just flying into some beautiful scenery. It really kind of adds to it, makes it much more enjoyable. Anyway, what are you flying at the moment? Be really interested to know. Leave a comment below, let me know what you're flying. Especially interested in helicopters that you're flying at the moment. What are you enjoying? There's a few that I haven't bought, but it's an exciting time to be flying helicopters in the sim. I didn't really get into helicopters until Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and then I just got absolutely bitten by the bug, and I love it now. And with the scenery that we have in the sim, it's just a wonderful way to explore and to learn to fly at the same time. Really get an idea for these kind of knife edge ridges. Very dramatic scenery, and very different to for example the Highlands of Scotland, where we quite often fly in helicopters doing the old search and rescue and all that sort of thing. Instead of those, oh, that was interesting, got buffeted by a bit of wind there. As I said, we have got real live weather on at the moment. I've got a 20 knot crosswind coming over from the left there, so that's what I'm just countering. What was I going to say? Yeah, so instead of those U-shaped glacial valleys, you've got a valley here that's very much been carved through the volcanic rock by rivers, so a different landscape to fly through. Quite stunning though. Okay, just concentrating a bit there with the wind. We are getting a little bit of buffeting. You can see having to fly a little bit left skid down, perhaps a little bit more than normal. That was interesting. Suddenly it was almost like a downdraft. It's very interesting flying a helicopter in weather like this, because you never quite know what's coming your way. Definitely keeps you on your toes, that's for sure. Be a good point for a nice outside shot with the theme tune, but of course we don't want any kind of copyright strike, so we won't be doing that, but just imagine it in your head. So we're now coming up on what's called Jurassic Falls, also Manawaiopuna. Apologies for any awful murdering pronunciation, but let's see if we can find this one. This one was a little less obvious on the map that I'm using. I'm using a little nav map to plan a flight, but should be down there somewhere. So I'm going to, let's have a look. We'll come around this way. And then come over here. Look at that drop there, wow. Well, let's see if we can locate it. There it is. Just there. We are definitely going to have to take a closer look at that. So let's come back round. Valley, watching the speed. Nose up, down on the collective, put the anchors on. Ah, there they are. This is another set of falls, so we can, that works out quite well. So we've got one waterfall there, little one, and there it is. There's Jurassic Falls. Look at that, magnificent. So we can just walk the helicopter up the valley. Very important when you're doing this kind of flying not to get too carried away looking at the scenery and forget to fly the helicopter, because that can be disastrous. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to line up so that we can see the scenery, but also not forgetting that I have a helicopter to fly. Bringing us down. Getting buffeted around a little bit. Amazing. Okay, let's very gingerly climb and back up. Whew. Don't want to bang into anything, that would be embarrassing. Okay, so we're going to hop over the top. And there was Jurassic Falls. Definitely getting buffeted around up here, that's interesting. Okay, so a quick hop over the top. Watching the Taog. pick up some transitional lift. Go, that's better, and now we can see we have some more falls over here. Which is all part of it. Wow. See how we're getting whipped around there. .34 knots winds that gusted to then. There you go. Okay, let's head over here. Helicopter is really having an interesting time dealing with these winds. Now down to 25, 26, 31, 32. Something makes me think that there's something odd going on here. I don't know if this is an MSFS thing. Maybe that's just what it's like here, but yeah, some very strong winds. So I'm just trying to climb, just being careful of the torque. Just to get over this high ground. There it goes again. Wow. Okay, wind just went up to 40 knots. So I think what's happening now is that the physics is broken, because 44 knots, I've seen this before, once the wind speed gets to ridiculous levels, it's like the physics kind of breaks a little bit. So what I am going to do is we're going to cheat now. I'm going to we're going to land, and I'm just going to adjust the weather slightly, because this wind speed is a bit silly for this helicopter. So let's just calm things down a bit. Practice the landing anyway. Landing on a slope, which is always a bit interesting. And it looks like my head tracking is also now picking up something on the wall. What a good time for that to happen. And we're down. There we go. Okay, so let's have a look at the weather. I'm going to take off live weather, and let's have a few clouds. There we go. That's better. Wind has dropped now a bit, so the helicopter should behave a little bit normally. Just checking everything while we're here. That's okay. Okay, so let's lift and see how differently it feels now without crazy winds going on. Yeah, it feels like the physics isn't coping with something crazy. I've seen that before in the H145, where the wind speed was so high, similar speeds to that actually, that it just didn't. It's like the sim couldn't work it out, and the helicopter started doing some very odd things, and shouldn't be flying a helicopter of that type in those speeds anyway. So that's absolutely fine. And now she's flying beautifully, so that's all good. Look at that view. Look at that view. Stunning. Okay, time for the theme tune in your head. Quite interesting, the changing the weather there to few clouds preset has actually given us kind of similar conditions, apart from the fact that we don't have daft wind, so that's all good. There are some winds that are definitely fun to fly in, and is a good way of really getting to grips with the helicopter physics, but when you're flying with a you know, a wind that's kind of gusting up to 42 knots, there's absolutely no point, because you're not simulating anything then. You're dealing with crazy physics that aren't quite working out, and that's exactly what was happening there. You could see or maybe the physics were right, I don't know, but you could see that the helicopter was quite happily flying along, and then all of a sudden was dropping out of the sky, almost like it was a vortex ring state situation, and then at other times it was suddenly climbing. So I guess that's just the physics in the sim of the air coming across the rotor disc. Wonderful. It's an interesting little spot down there, a little hut. That's the kind of thing, if I was just flying around having a bit of fun, I'd probably do a land on there. Good place to practice. I have got to do some more flying over in Hawaii. It's a wonderful place. I should say I'm using the Bijan Seasons pack as well. I've set the timing to August. Coming up on Wailua Falls now, so another little set for us to have a look at. Just going to come over this way. That's not it. That lake isn't there, so not quite sure what's happened there. Probably the Microsoft Flight Simulator thinking that there should be something there. So Wailua Falls just approaching. Little spot. We're definitely going to take a closer look at that. We've got a car park. Yeah, let's take a closer look at that. So we're going to come down into the valley. flying the helicopter. Detail. We've got the rocks, we've got the timber lying on the side. I need to concentrate on flying. Look at that, what a lovely little spot. Okay, let's lift. Detail on the top there, and now we've got just over here, we've got another set of falls. Opeka. Again, apologies for any incorrect pronunciations. We have some animals. Better approach to this one. So anchors on. Look at that tree line there. That's it. Spin around. Let's see if we can find the location. Thinking it's gonna be maybe just on the other side. There it is. Cool. Another nice little spot to descend in to give me a sweaty brow. Let's have a closer look at that. You see what I mean though about helicopter training. These kind of locations, they're lovely to explore and look at, but it's a great way of practicing your helicopter flying. I know some of you are experts, but I still consider myself very much to be a rookie. Flying with finesse. See the lovely boulders down there? That's kind of like a trademark Cli4D thing. These lovely waterside sceneries. You could get Parallel 42's camp out and set up a nice little pitch down there. Okay, let's just remember to fly. Lovely, isn't it? Lovely jubbly. Okay, now what we're going to do now is concentrate on flying. We're going to go to Oahu, and obviously that means a transit by water, which is not going to be very exciting for you. So we are going to head that way, and I'm going to skip the video to the point where we are approaching the island, because as much I mean, I could recite poetry, I could sing some songs, I could tell you a nice bedtime story, but at the end of the day, a long flight over water is not the most exciting thing by any stretch. So I'm going to save you the pain of that, and we will cut once we get out over the ocean. But this is what the 500c is just wonderful for doing. It's so nimble, flying around like an idiot and having a great time. And there it is, the big ocean. So we say farewell to Kauai and hello to Oahu. And so here we are, you find us coming up on the Waimea Valley. On the island of Oahu. Oahu, even. That looks rather nice, doesn't it? Nice beach there. So we're coming up on Waimea Falls, which is what we're going to look at first. That is beautiful. Getting a bit of target fixation here and trying hard not to focus too much on the scenery, but that's very nice to look at. So we'll fly up the valley, if I can pick the right one. And we should come to our falls. I will avoid the wind turbines. Start coming back on the speed a little bit. And see if I can find the falls. There they are. So let's come back on the stick and lower the collective a bit, and let's see if we can get a closer look over here. Walk the helicopter in again, keeping it under control. I've often said flying helicopters in the sim for me is almost like a form of meditation, mindfulness. You just, when you're not yakking on a video, you're so connected to what the helicopter is doing and breathing deeply and all that kind of stuff. I love it. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Cabana down there. I wonder, my spot turns are not very good. Yeah, no, I'm not feeling adventurous enough to do that, because we'll probably prang the tail in. I don't think there's really enough room there. No. Let's not be silly. I was going to suggest landing the helicopter there, but I don't really think there's enough room. And one must have a modicum of realism on these things. Sorry to disappoint. Okay, let's head to the next one. We can zip through this valley. So, of course, on Oahu, this is Magnum territory for sure. I wonder if anyone has put in the comments up till this point. Well, of course, Kauai is not where Magnum was based. He was based in Oahu. Well, there you go. I've made the point. It's always worth watching my video to the end before you start leaving comments. sometimes people are a little bit too eager to jump in and point out errors, but I always try and explain, or if I make an error, point it out in the video. But sometimes people just can't resist to jump in and share their knowledge and expertise. So some more nice tree scenery here. Again, if you're doing a bit of practice, there's some clearings where you could certainly practice your landings. So our next stop is Sacred Falls. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like. We're just going to hop over the ridge here, and we should have some pretty spectacular views, I think. Coastline. What a wonderful place. Honolulu is over there. We will be ending up there. That's where we're going to land. Using Rex Atmos, something I didn't have in 2020, but I got it for 2024, and I have to say that you know, in some circumstances it really does add something quite nice to it. It kind of tones down the colours a bit and gives you something a little bit more realistic. It's odd, when I first turned it on I thought, oh my god, it's made everything dull, and then I realised that all it had done was taken over that almost kind of oversaturated MSFS colours and made something a bit more realistic. Right, let's see if we can find the falls. I think we're probably coming in a little bit too high. They're probably under us, so let's come over this ridge. They're down in that valley. As you can see, dropping down, back on the stick slightly to reduce the speed. Let's see if I can find Sacred Falls. I'm thinking it might be in this valley. There it is. Wow, this is going to be a high pucker factor valley walk. Look how steep those sides are. So, concentration. what I mean about great opportunities to practice. Okay, it's really interesting. Feels like we're getting buffeted a bit here. 4 knot wind, but definitely feels like we're getting buffeted. Okay, let's come around here. I'm trying to get so we can have a good view. Look at that. Look at that. I would love to know how they do the real helicopter tour here and how close they get in. They must do the same sort of thing, just with more competent pilots, eh? I love how it twists as well. Let's have a look at these rocks up here. Interesting colour. Amazing. So there you go, Sacred Falls. So I'm just going to apply some collective. Let's get a little bit of forward momentum going. Checking the torque, make sure I don't over torque it. So we just lift out over the hills. What a view. Okay, so we're heading to our last waterfall now, Manoa Falls. We have a little bit of a transit down there. By the way, anyone who is watching this from the Discord, let me know on the Discord if you think this would be a good group flight. Just occurred to me that with a bit more time we could have some fun. So yeah, let me know if you fancy doing this at some point as a helicopter group flight. That's in the Discord, by the way, not in the comments to the video. And the link to the Discord down below. Okay, let's on y va. That's Kahulu in the distance there. Really is beautiful. Great thing to have a flight sim that can bring the world to you in a, you know, in a pretty good way that feels like gives you a reasonable impression of what it's like. Okay, let's just focus on a few things here. I'm conscious that my speed is approaching maximum, so let's be careful of that. So stick back a little bit. Let's have some fun. Riding just on the limits of the top speed of this, you do have to be a bit careful. should be in the helicopter. Oh, that looks nice, isn't it? Nice beach resort, perhaps. Oh, to be there now with a cold beer on the beach would be quite wonderful, wouldn't it? What's that over there? I've got the Mamu Designs wind farms and power lines thing, and this is an interesting... Oh, it's a road. Oh, okay. You've got the photo scenery baked in road on the ground, but then you've actually got the elevated road on the top. Interesting. Need to let's wind the map in a little bit. There we go. Okay. Let's go find our waterfalls. It's very dramatic scenery, isn't it? If you've not tried helicopter flying in the sim, I can absolutely recommend it. I have got a video on the channel which is kind of asking the question, why fly helicopters in the sim? But it really is great fun and incredibly rewarding, apart from the fact that it's a whole new skill set that you've got to learn. It's great for doing sightseeing and for exploring and just having a bit of an adventure in an area like this. Of course, the advantage with these helicopters is that you can, if you see somewhere interesting, you can just land on it. And quite often I find myself spotting something like that down there, for example. Oh God, I'm trying to read that on the map. Nanunapali Lookout. That is. You could just land on that if you so wished, which is pretty cool. Well, not on it obviously, but by it. If you landed on it, you'd certainly upset a few people. Now I think to see these waterfalls we're going to have to pop over the top here maybe. I think actually that might be down there. Yeah, okay, that's cool. So we'll just follow this reg line a little bit and then back on the stick, down on the collective to put the anchors on a little bit. confess at this point I'm a little bit lost. So I'm just going to try and stabilise the helicopter a little bit, and let's have another look on the map. I've got the map wound out possibly a little bit too far, so let's see. Too far. Wasn't really getting an accurate position on where we were. Let's remember to fly the helicopter. There it is. Manoa Falls. The helicopter's in a nice stable position. Some work around here as well on the rocks. I don't know, I'm kind of feeling that Clifford's hand has also been working hard on the surrounding bit. Okay, let's just keep it climbing. Almost pretty much hovering at this point, just drifting slightly, and then a gentle turn to the right, and we'll get the nose down, and we can head to the home base, or I say the home base, head to the airport, going to Honolulu International, and then we can head to the bar. You might need it after my flying. Let's hope not. But I always do like to look after my passengers. Just pop over the ridge here. Down and get on our way. Ooh, we've got a little antennae post there. There's the airport in the distance. So we're picking up speed. Got to be careful not to lower the nose too much. Lowering the collective. So we can have a nice descent without overspeeding. And then we'll zip over and end up here. So definitely an interesting place to explore, isn't it? funny coming from that green mountainous scenery and right at the foothills, or right at the foot of the hills I should say, is this amazing. So we can see two towers. Got the port over there, that looks like quite good detail. Over there we've got Pearl Harbor. So what have we got in the way of wind? 2 knots on the nose, 3 knots on the nose. Not a great deal to worry about. I don't have multiplayer on, so I don't need to worry about fitting in with traffic, but we will we'll do an approach here to 26 right. Look at the detail on the ground there, insane. Insane. A bit here, we are coming in quite low. Left skid down a bit. Losing speed, going slower. Practice for me, doing a bit of low speed handling. It's always good to have an opportunity to do that. God knows I need it. Now we can just do some hover taxiing. Again, it's all good practice. Really looking forward to seeing if I keep hearing that, is it SU4? They're fixing some of the LODs so you don't have these objects suddenly popping in at an unrealistically close distance. It's one of the things that I'm not particularly fond of in 2024. It just it's not particularly realistic when objects like those lights, or the signs rather, suddenly pop in. Alright, let's go over here. Remember, wind is pretty negligible here, but it's just with the 500 you need a little bit of left skid down. And let's tool over this way. What we've got. Should really have looked at the airport map beforehand, of course, to find a suitable place to plonk down a helicopter. But as we're not on multiplayer, I'm going to put us down in front of the tower. Give them something interesting to look at, and then they can all sit in the tower and start humming the theme tune that I've now got firmly implanted in my head. Let's scoot over. Thoroughly unrealistic parking spot. You can see trees. Seeing the trees makes you want to pop up and have a look. Shall we? Why not? Why not? Scrub that landing spot. Let's go and have a look at some, see what we've got over here. Okay. I was kind of hoping that there might be some kind of, oh, I guess it's not bad. I was hoping for something a bit more interesting. Okay, let's pop the heliocopter down here. I always have to remember in this helicopter you really do, the relationship between the pedals and the collective is something you really have to keep an eye on. And we're down. There we go. Well, we've gone from green, verdant forests, waterfalls, and now we are surrounded by a bit of concrete. But I do hope you've enjoyed that flight. I certainly have. Lovely scenery to fly around. And thanks again to Clifford for giving me the opportunity to fly the scenery and also to show it to you in this video. If you've enjoyed the video, please do consider liking and subscribing and all that kind of good stuff. And don't forget the Discord. Anyway, thanks for coming along. It's been a pleasure having you on board, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye bye.